Alright, more about multiplying decimals. This is page 120. And on this page we're going to actually learn what you may have summarized at the bottom of page 119. Read the top of the page with me. To multiply decimals, first multiply as you would with whole numbers. In other words, that kind of means pretend that they are whole numbers. Then place the decimal point in the product. The number of decimal places in the product equals the sum of the number of decimal places in the factors. Now let's go check that out. If you look at example 1 with me, Delia bought 3.8 pounds of peppers. The peppers cost $1.99 each. So count up all of the digits after the decimal place. 1, 2, 3. That means that when you multiply these, $1.99 times 3.8. Notice I'm not aligning my decimals. You don't have to do that. It says right here, multiply as you would with whole numbers. So we just line these numbers. It's kind of like we're doing 199 times 38, and we'll deal with the decimal at the end. So you multiply this all out, and they did it over here on the left, and you get 7562. But then you count 1, 2, 3. That's a total of 3 decimal places. So then from the right, we move it over 1, 2, 3 spots. Now this one needs to get rounded because it's a money problem, but technically that's where the decimal goes. So let's go practice that at the bottom of the page. Reflect real quick. It says, how can you use estimation to check that you have placed the decimal point correctly in your product? So whenever I see this word estimate, I think to myself round. So I would round to the nearest whole number. And multiply to check for reasonableness. That's what I would do. Alright, now let's go to the your turn and check out how to do this. It's really actually pretty simple. I think you'll like it. So the first one, they actually really just want you to count decimals. Check out number 3. It says 12 and 6/10. That has 1 decimal place. 15 and 3/10. That has 1 decimal place. So what we're going to do is at the end, we're going to end up with 2 decimal places. Now they end up giving you not too much space here. This 378, let me show you where that came from. If I did 3 times 6, I would get 18. And then 3 times 2 is 6. I'm sorry, 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. That's that 7 right there. And then 3 times 1 is 3. So 378 is actually 3 times all these numbers. So now what I'm going to do is just resume starting at the 7. 7 times 3. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm in the tens place, so I need to annex 1 0 as a decimal holder. And I'm going to do 5 times 6 is 30. And 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 3 is 13. And 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. And now I'm in the hundreds place, so I'm going to annex 2 zeros. And then 1 times 6 is 6, and 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 1 is 1. And I know it's kind of messy, but we can carefully add all these up. 8 plus 0 is 8, and 7 plus 0 is 7, and 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 6 is 12, and 6 plus 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. And then 1 plus nothing is 1. So it's 19278. But then where does my decimal go? Remember, we count 1, 2. So my decimal starts over here and it gets moved over. 1, 2. It goes right here. And then how could we check for reasonableness? Well, we could plunge into a calculator. 12.6, that's about 13. And 15.3 is about 15. What's 13 times 15? 195. I got 192.78. That means I got pretty close. Alright, let's check this out again. I might use a whiteboard for this one just because it is kind of hard to follow. Those bubbles make it kind of tricky. I'll recopy this as 9 and 76/100 times. I'm actually going to make it a little bigger. 9 and 76/100 times 0 and 46/100. And they want you to do the decimal thing. So how many digits are after the decimal here? 2, and 2. Means at the end we're going to move it up a total of 4 spots. Okay, so make sure you've got this. 4 decimal places at the end. Okay, so now I'm going to multiply. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 3 is 45. 6 times 9 is 54, plus 4 is 58. This is the tens place, so annex 1, 0. And get rid of these. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 2 is 30. 4 times 9 is 36, plus 3 is 39. I don't have to do 0 times anything. That won't change my answer at all. This is like it doesn't even exist. Now I'm going to add. 6 plus 0 is 6. 5 plus 4 is 9. 8 plus 0 is 8. 5 plus 9 is 14. 3 plus 1 is 4. And then I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3, 4. Start here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your answer is 4 and, this is the answer that goes in the bubble at the bottom, 4 and 4,896 10,000ths. How could we check for reasonableness? This is not the easiest one to check for reasonableness. We could say it this way. This is about almost 10, and this is about half, and half times 10 is 5. You could also just punch it into a calculator. 9 and 76 hundredths times 0 and 46 hundredths is 4 and 4896. We got it right. Well, good job. You're done with page 120.